Hello, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Dominic, or D for short, 1E, and this is my place. It's a safe space I created to talk about life, real life, no filter, no judgment. Now, if you're joining me for the first time, last week I talked about why I decided to do a YouTube channel and what has me on this hurt to hope journey. And if you've been with me before, thank you for tuning in again. I really appreciate your support. So let's jump right into this week's episode. Hey, hello and welcome back. I'm glad that you decided to come back for Epi2, and quite honestly, I'm glad I decided to come back for Epi2 because I promise you, y'all, I was really contemplating whether I could actually do this or not. Being on YouTube is one thing, or telling the world about something they may care about is one thing, but airing your dirty laundry and telling people how you really feel, and it's not all the positive stuff of how you feel, is not the easiest thing to do. And so in thinking about like my whole reason for what I'm talking about right now is getting over the hurt and healing from that. And so that means I have to actually admit that I'm hurting, and I have to actually admit that I'm hurting to anybody who wants to hear about it, or to potentially the whole world, right? And so that's not easy, because I could come up with several reasons why that's not easy. And actually I did come up with several reasons why that's not easy. So that was my whole morning. And I kind of had a conversation with myself. I promise, if I could just take some time, or if there was a way to let my mind play out like visually, I would love to see what that looks like, because it's a lot going on in there and I really want to see what that's like. So I kind of had a conversation with myself, and I was like, on the one hand, I am thinking of all of the reasons why I should not do this. You don't really need to do this. You don't need to do episode 2. Heck, you don't even need episode 1. I don't even think you need a YouTube channel. This is not something you want to talk about with people in general. Anybody. Nobody needs to know you're hurting. Nobody really cares you're hurting. Nobody really cares that you have to get over hurting. How am I gonna pull how I really feel out? And who wants to hear it? Am I supposed to be doing this? Like, is this okay? Lord, am I supposed to be doing this? Is this gonna be a problem? What will my friends say? Will they want to be my friends? Will they be worried that when we're hanging out, I'm gonna be sad? I'm not really gonna be happy because I'm hurting, I'm going through something? What about the people on Facebook when they see that life is not always happy and exciting? And what will people say? What will people think? What will they think about me? How will they treat me differently because of it? Will they have pity on me? And now they'll start treating me sensitively because they think that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hurt her. You don't need to do this. This is not necessary. People don't even care. People don't want to hear about it. People want to be happy. They don't want to hear about sad things or hurting things and going on in somebody else's life. They have their own hurts to deal with. Just stick to cooking, stick to things people like, the fun things, the yay, it's so happy things, and just stick with that. All kinds of things came across my mind today, and and I was really in it, and I was going to let it just stop me. It even went to guys. Like, guys don't want to be with somebody who's talking about how much they've been hurt, or something's hurting them. They want to be with happy people. They're attracted to people who are just living life and loving life. And so, if I put it out to the world that I'm getting over being hurt, like, no guy's gonna want to talk to me. And so even went there. It was like, on the one hand, I was talking myself out of it, and on the total other end, I was just shooting it down. And so what I said to myself was, you can sit here and you can talk yourself out of doing anything. But there's a flip side to that, because you can talk yourself into doing anything as well. And so you can talk yourself out of it, or you can talk yourself into it. And 9 times out of 10, don't quote me on those numbers, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to talk yourself into doing the one that you really want to do. So either you can decide this is just not something you want to do and be done with it, or you can recognize that it is fear, and then you can figure out how to get over that. Because worrying about what people are going to say or worrying about what your friends are going to think, it doesn't matter. If people are going to talk, they're going to talk anyway. So it really doesn't matter whether you're giving them something positive or negative. They're going to find a way to spin it positively or negatively depending on the person. So why am I deciding that I can't express myself because of fear of what people will say or think? It's not something you can control, and people are going to think what they want to think. They're going to say what they want to say. And so since it's not something you can control or should be trying to control, do you? Who says you always have to be happy anyway, or you can't go through something anyway? It's life. You're not always going to be up. You're not always going to be down. Hopefully, you're not always going to be down. If you are always down, talk to somebody about that. But it's life. You have ups and downs. That's a part of life. So who says you only get to share the good times or the good moments or the things that make everybody else want to be in your life? No, that's not how it works. So what people think, they're going to think. Let people think what they want to think. You do what you feel like you need to do to be a better person, to be a better you. And that's where we're going to focus our attention. So if there's a guy out there who's interested and now he's not interested because you've gone through something in life, then he doesn't deserve you anyway. And being single for as long as I've been single, telling myself that some guy doesn't deserve me, yeah. But it's true. And I know it's true. If people are going to judge you based on one encounter or one situation and not really get to know who you are, then they don't deserve to be with you. They don't deserve to be in your life. And that's not just men for me or women for men or somebody you're looking at with interest. That's people in general. That's friends. That's family. That's people. If they're going to judge you based on one situation, they're not going to take the time to understand where you are, who you are, what you're about, what matters, then shame on them. And who am I to not be who I am and do what I need to do because I'm worried about what people think? Everybody has a life and everybody has a story. And if people miss out on my goal and my purpose for being here and what I'm doing, or at least the what I'm attempting to do, then shame on them. So like I said earlier, I went through you know what, you can talk yourself into it or you can talk yourself out of it. And that doesn't just go for this channel. That goes for life in general. I know there are tons of people out there talking themselves out of something. People have had business ideas. People are thinking about going back to school. Oh, but I'm too old. Oh, what will they think? I mean, by the time I get a degree, it'll be too late. People are thinking about or not thinking about having kids. I would be a crappy parent. I mean, this happened to me. And who knows? Right? We don't know the future. We don't know the positives that could come from just doing the things that are truly in our heart. And so we talk ourselves out of doing so much that it all bubbles up to just fear. And I don't know about you, but I'm just not good at letting fear control me. I am not good at letting fear stop me from doing anything. So when I recognize that that's what it is, which is a huge part of today, then no, fear can't win. And I have to tell myself, fear can't win. And sometimes I have to write it on my board. Fear can't win. Or write it on my mirror when I didn't have a board. Fear can't win. Am I afraid? I'm absolutely afraid. I mean, my heart is beating right now, and I'm sure it will be beating just as fast when I hit upload. But if it doesn't go through and the video and I don't post, it won't be because fear stopped me. I mean, there could be other reasons, but that won't be the reason. And that's who the fight is really with. It's not with the world and what they think or what they will and will not allow. It's not anything about that, because we do have the power to make things happen if we just believe that we can. And normally we don't believe we can because of fear for some reason or another. So if it's any other reason, I'll consider it. But if it's fear, that's a no-go. I almost do it because now I know that if I don't, I let fear stop me, and fear can't win. So, and now I hear it, and now I get it, you know, like that was my fearful self-talking and my faithful self-talking. And so that's what it sounds like when fear and faith have a conversation. Never thought of that before, but okay, here we go. Even if that's all I got, like right now I can see in my head fear and faith having a conversation, and faith has to win. Hope has to win. Faith has to win every time, because when faith wins, I win. And when fear stops us from doing so much good. Stops us from getting to know people. It stops us from letting people be who they are. It stops us from growing and from just trying new things and doing different things, from opening up and wondering if people will accept you, and what happens if they don't, and if people will be there for you, and what happens if they don't. And there are all kinds of reasons why we have it, and normally it's from something else that happened, but at some point I had to decide I can't let fear win. And so that wasn't the plan for the show today, but that's kind of how it went. And so that is the topic of today, because I almost let that stop me from having an Epi2. I almost let that stop me from having a whole YouTube channel. And no, I'm gonna go forward with it, and I'm gonna continue to do it, and I hope you continue to watch it. I really appreciate you for stopping in today to just listen to me rant about life, and I appreciate you for going on this healing journey with me. I'm gonna move from hurt to hope, and that's my plan. I thoroughly think I'm going to enjoy the process, especially since I'm documenting it. And so I really appreciate your time. I hope to see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat station. And I don't know what the topic will be apparently, because that changes. So yeah.